Hey, what's up? So I played quite a bit of the Dragonkin demo today. It just came out. I'm pretty sure it was announced this morning. So I had to jump on that, and it's rough. It sucks. I actually still plan to play this in early access. Money's pretty tight right now, so I'll probably pick it up though. So what happens? This is one of those things where in the beginning of the demo, you're starting off as a really powerful character. So basically, the prologue of the game, of the demo, is too easy. It's really cool. The prologue itself takes you through each class to try. I think it was four. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, all four classes in the prologue. There's only 3 playable after that, after the prologue and the demo, which is kind of sad because the 4th one was actually my favorite one. The hunter. But after the prologue, you're able to test a portion of the end game, which is very reminiscent of Diablo 3's rifts, which I like. I was like, okay, that's cool. And actually, the last level that I just played, and I tried 3 of them because I played each of the classes after the prologue because I could tell. I'm gonna lower my audio, so it's gonna get a little weird. Sorry. Yeah, my audio is different now. But I like I said, the prologue was it was too easy, and sadly, I've seen this in a lot of games, a lot of different demos, and even just introductions to a game. A lot of games go like that, and there's a good and bad thing about it. The bad, I think, outweighs the good though, because the good is it's badass, it's fun, it's really cool. It's like, wow, damn, man, but the bad is like, well, that was too easy, and you think the whole game's gonna be like that. Right? I usually still play anyways, but I have noticed something I've talked about in my Marvel Heroes video was like a lot of these games are too easy. They really are. It's it's weird. It feels like there's no balancing done at all in them, and you're just meant to just go one shot everything, and that's it, nothing more. Pretty much, generally speaking. And I'm not saying that about like this. I don't know what the whole game of this. I assume it's not going to be like that in the whole game, especially after having played the mage after the prologue. Not fun. Yeah, I was hard. I didn't want to play anymore, and I'm glad I tried the warrior out after her because, man. Anyways, all right. Let me have a quick drink real quick. I wasn't expecting to need one, but give me a sec, and I will talk about these things. Excuse me. Okay. So, of course, the first thing that attracted my attention to this game is I already like these types of games. Diablo, I'll always think of Diablo. That was my first. But beautiful game, right? Very attractive. And then I noticed something. I think it probably happened after I updated the graphics settings or whatever, but it's really grainy. It just looks really grainy. And then I was on the forums, and somebody else had mentioned this too, and they said, oh, basically the graphics look better if you have the AI auto upgrade whatever stuff. I forget the names of them. I never really think about them that way. I'm just like, oh, I always turn it off. I'm like, nah, man. Mostly because it reminds me of like stream buffering. Like if you set the quality to auto, it fluctuates a lot for whatever reason. I don't know, and that would depend on your connection too. I find it strange because I have a really good connection, and I still see like YouTube videos when they're on auto, they downgrade, and I'm like, no. And I set it to the proper freaking thing, I'm like, no, I don't want this to go all weird. That's what the settings for the graphics options remind me of in these games now. The whole like let AI determine if your computer can handle this moment, and whatever. So I'm like, nah, that's cool. I'd rather my game crash. anyways, that's a preference, whatever. So apparently, you have to have that on for the graphics in the demo to look good, and it's probably some buggy thing. That's my guess, right? Because that just doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to assume that will be fixed. This game is going to launch in early access next month. I think I forget the exact date. Oh, that's funny right there, March 6th. So so even when it comes out like soonish, after this demo, it's still not going to be like the finished version or whatever, right? I hope it does get finished. I mean, one of the things when Kickstarter was first out, I had backed a few games in Kickstarter, and they took a couple of them took 10 years or more. So the first time that happened, I was like, wow, that's crappy. And it was like, a few years, like for a couple things, like 4 to 5 years. It just took a lot longer than I would expect, which is fine. It's not a big deal. But I was like, well, whatever. I'm pre-ordering a game 10 years ahead of its time or whatever. Anyways, why the hell was I saying that? Because I know this game's going into early access. But oh yeah, I stopped. I don't jump into these games as often as when they first came out, because I love the idea. It's cool. A game has to be good enough for me to pay for it, especially in early access, though. And I'll still, like I gave that one game Feria, or not, I don't remember what the name of it is right now, but I gave a game a try, and it was neat, but it's just not going to get done at all. And they're blaming the sales. They're saying it's because it's not selling well that they're just not going to finish the game. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But anyways, I rambled way too off on there. Sorry. It's just funny, man. Okay. I like the voice acting in the game so far. Sorry. That's funny. I didn't mean to ramble like that. That's crazy. I kind of want to start over, but I'm just gonna go, man. Screw it. Yeah, so far, I mean, there's not a whole lot of voice acting, but I liked it. It was good on the ears. It was, it's fine. No forced move option, which kind of sucks. And I posted on the forums asking if they would add one, because I didn't see and I asked too. I said, "Am I missing the option to like change the controls?" Because the one I saw only makes it so that you can either disable move and attack on the one button, or they're both on the same button, left click. Like, and I'm just like, but there like no new option came up turning off the move and attack. It's just a weird setting. It doesn't make sense unless I'm misunderstanding that one too. Anyways, it does have WASD controls. And another a noticeable thing on that is like usually, I'm pretty sure, even with WSD controls, you can still left click to move, right? Like, I think in most games that have that option. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, at least they have WSD, but I still hope they add like a force move button just to make it one key. I prefer that. That's just a preference. Subtitles disabled but still show. That's actually a common thing I've seen in a lot of like demos and early access games, is some of the settings you change, especially subtitles. I don't know why. Subtitles is very common. I've seen this in so many games where I disable it in the settings and they still play in the cinematics and stuff, and I'm like, okay. That's weird to me. It's weird. It's funny. I have seen it in many games. All right, there's two camera options in the settings, like the UI settings, I think. But no scroll in out to change the view. And this was another keybind I looked for, didn't see it. Maybe would have to look again. Maybe it's there. Yeah, it was weird because they had the two camera settings, and they're not very the angle, like the camera settings. There's two camera angles. Not even like zoom in, zoom out. It just goes from like actually I'm not looking at myself. It goes like from this to like that or something. Like there's a tilt in the two different camera angles. It's just a slight tilt. It's barely a tilt, and I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. Like that's between like action and a classic or something. Pretty funny. I liked them both. I like both views. It's not really much of an option there. And then yeah, I forgot I was gonna say this. Like the last Rift-like level I played was an underwater one, and that was the third character and the last character I was gonna play as. And the previous two characters I played out as it wasn't underwater. Like, so when I saw that, the visual effects, and it even like has like that underground like sea stuff, like, or underwater sea stuff. It's pretty. It's really neat. But it looked almost exactly the same as the other ones I had played, but like just with an underwater effect and like some of the assets, like just being underwater, like sea life and stuff. It's cool though. Like it was neat. It was really pretty. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I forgot. I was talking about the graininess on the visuals, huh? Yeah. So basically, you turn on the AI stuff to make that go away. Yeah, weird, just weird. As a demo though, man, and it's gonna be early access, so I'm not surprised at all, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, so the four classes you play as, like a knight, they called them a knight. I just noticed that earlier because I was thinking knight paladin, like it's this shield and the javelin, or Valkyrie or whatever, something like that, right? The mage, the warrior and the hunter ranger, um, whirlwind. Every game with the warrior has whirlwind. Have you noticed that? It didn't used to be that way. It's pretty funny, man. I can't remember all the other games like Diablo, right? But like now in the past 10 years, didn't you like not every warrior in all these games had like whirlwind until after Diablo. Oh, it's so funny, man. Yeah, no, for real though, right? Like it's pretty funny. But yeah, all of them have that whirlwind attack, man. Even in the 3D games too, like 3D free to play. I almost had the names too. I haven't played in a while. Something like Dragon Nest or even Vindictus. I don't think they had Whirlwind, but games like that, those 3D hack and slash games. I'm trying to remember the other ones, but it's been quite a while since I played those. Yeah, the Warrior always has Whirlwind. It's hilarious, man. Didn't used to be that way. I like Frenzy. I actually prefer like the super fast attack. They have that in part 4. Was it the rogue or the warrior? I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, or am I thinking of 3? I might be thinking of 3. Maybe it's both. Right, it could be both. But you get that like really fast dual wield attack. It's just fun. I love that. It's fun. Anyways, oh yeah. So the 4 classes in this game, especially in the prologue, they all feel super badass, and it was fun. Too easy, but fun. It was cool. Just pretty badass. But what I noticed was each one, like I was trying all the different abilities out, and after a couple minutes or a few minutes or whatever playing and trying them out, seeing like the cooldowns on them and like mana cost type thing, right? Oh, what the hell? Oh yeah. After that, after I figured out their abilities and stuff, just how they felt and stuff, I noticed that you could basically just spam one ability per each of these classes and wipe everything out. The basic attack sucks balls, doesn't really do any damage at all. It's very strange to me. It kind of makes sense since like things were mostly easy to kill until after the prologue. But yeah, so oh man, my thoughts just went into like 3 to 4 different things on the same topic. So let me focus, because like, yeah, I almost went all over the place again. There's it's cool because I like this. I like the demo, but there were too many issues, specifically with the gameplay. Let's see. Let me see what I have here. Oh boy, man. Yeah, it's rough. I don't like saying bad things about games. I really don't. Especially a demo or an early access game, because already, I mean, you never know what I've seen games change like drastically. Some of them just get updated and fixed, right? Like they just kind of get polished. But some of them change, like they just completely change it through multiple phases. So like phase 1, when their first month or first year or whatever, however long it takes them to go through their phases, will be like this game. Then the next phase is this, like a newer game type thing, newer version, right? Like just different though. And then again and again and again. It's interesting. And most of the time, from what I've seen, they explain that's going to happen when they do. I can't remember the game off the top of my head. I watch a lot of these, man. A lot. I, you know, I like games. But anyways, they'll tell you like straight up front, usually on the early access page too, like they'll be like, this is not, well actually, most of it, they have that normal warning, right? This is not the reflection of the final product or whatever, but it usually is, like almost every beta and every game that we ever try. Like especially when it's like a AAA title and a demo or whatever, it'll say something like that, right? Like may not reflect final game or some crap like that, right? But early access, the ones I've seen are a little different, and it's pretty neat to watch because that's not like the game is changing for the worse or anything. It's just working it out, like it's interesting. It's interesting, whatever. Anyways, I didn't mean to go off on that too. Damn it, man. Okay, so I thought it was hard to get a feel for the game since you play as leveled up, powerful characters. This was even after the prologue when the characters get weak. Um, I played the mage first after the prologue, and I was just kind of angry the whole time. I was like, "This is crap." The basic attack, specifically on the mage, was exceptionally weak. I wasn't getting nothing done with it. Um, and on top of that, like when enemies like were right on top of me, the aiming seemed off with the mouse. Like it wasn't really hitting them, or it was just weird. And, so it just felt like wrong, you know. uh, and didn't I couldn't. There was no possibility. I tried to manage mana with enemies, the different ways of enemies, and kill them and stuff, and it was not good. It was I was running around in circles during some fights just to get mana to regen. Um, Not in a fun way, you know. Whatever, man. Try the demo, you'll see what I mean. And that's after the prologue. So I was glad I played the warrior after that because the warrior was way better, way more fun. Basically whirlwind spam. Basically throw out some other attacks so that you can keep it going, but but it was fun though. That actually, I was like, okay, this is a better idea of how the game plays. Then that's cool. Just need to polish some stuff up on the mage for sure. But then I played the knight as well after, and also didn't like it. I didn't even finish the dungeon. I was like, nope. Hated the mage, finished the dungeon. Loved the warrior, finished the dungeon. Played the knight, was like, nah, no. Not fun at all. I could not figure that crap out, dude. I was trying the different abilities and checking the different cooldowns, and it seemed okay, like the concept wise. Like I liked what was happening, but I was like, it just felt weak. But I mean, the Crusader was like that for me in Diablo 3. Like I just didn't like the Crusader. Like I loved the animations and the abilities were really cool looking and all that, but he felt weak. And it wasn't weak. He just, like, I had played a lot of hours of the wizard, a lot of hours on the monk, a lot of hours on the is that one the witch doctor? Yeah, the witch doctor. And I hadn't really liked the barbarian since part 2 because he was OP in part 2. Both the barbarian, the whirlwind barbarian, and the frost orb mage, especially PK. Yeah. Oh man, that was good stuff. That was funny. But yeah. So once something's like too overpowered and stuff, I usually just get off it. Because every character ends up being powerful anyways. Some are just face roll powerful, kind of, mostly, right? Like in comparison to the ones that take more effort. But I mean, it just like it's fun to play different stuff, Anyways, again, see what I mean? I do this, man. Do this. I'll ramble. I could just stick to the notes and do it, but I don't know. That's my natural way of doing things, man. Like I talk about games and just bloop. Yeah, I used to try to talk to my mom and my sister about games, and I remember like the first time I noticed that they didn't want to listen was and that was after like 20 minutes, man. It was just 20 minutes of me going games. And then it took me a while to notice. It took me a while to realize it's like, well, this is too much for them, But my mom she would try to watch me play games and stuff. That was cool. Anyways, let's see. Hard to get a feel for the game because the balancing in it is the prologue is you're too powerful. It's meant to be that way because they want to show you what kind of like end game powerful characters would be like, but it's too easy. Once you get a feel for each of the builds that they give you. Apparently you're supposed to be able to change your builds in the demo. I was looking through some of the menus and I couldn't figure it out, and I also just didn't. I was like, mostly because I had seen this on the forums. People were talking about their a couple little feedback posts and stuff. They're like, I would prefer to play from level 1, right? Start from level 1 to get a feel for it, which I also felt the same way. That's why I usually like that too. Depends on the game. Some games I've actually played, like they stick you on a high level character. I can't remember, again, too many games over the years, but There have been at least a couple games, or a few even, where like I started in a demo and I started as a high level character, and it didn't. It was natural. They did a really good job on the way it played out in the demo. I think mostly because it was that wasn't even in the game, right? It's rare. I mean, I haven't seen it. Like there aren't many demo. I can't remember. It used to be normal where demos would just give you like not even parts of the actual main game. Like they were their own parts. They were they were nothing in the game at all, and that was I don't know. It was a long time ago, man. But yeah, but now demos or even trailers are like I hate they call it a trailer, but they'll show you like 10 minutes of a full mission, right? Like that's not a trailer, dude. Like so anyways, damn it, I lost. It's related to that. I know I was making sense. Now I forget what the hell I was talking about, man. That's funny. All right. Anyways. All right. Yeah, and it reminded me of but the balancing itself reminded me of. I'm like, where are these people learning to make a game like this? Because they're all too easy, and they don't need to be hard like that. People were talking about No Rest for the Wicked, right? Like I plan to pick that. I'm not really into the Souls punishment mode. The way that gameplay is done, I get bored of that. Going through the same level. I did that as a kid for many many years. So I love the new games where you're actually going through different things. Like. Anyways, but I do plan to pick that up someday. It looks pretty epic, but yeah, I'm not talking about like making a game Souls hard, right? It makes me wonder, like, because I'm like, Diablo 2 was really well balanced, right? A 3-2, 4 is not. Well, yeah, no, that's super mainline stream. It's just 4 is crazy. But anyways, so I'm like, I always wonder. I'm like, these people making these new ARPGs, did they actually play Diablo 2 back then? I think you could even get a good feel for it now with the remastered version. I haven't played much. I played like 10 to 12 hours and I forgot how slow that game could be, but I just wasn't in the mood. But yeah, now that I think about it, I kind of want to go. But I think now would be a good time for me to go play that, since I've kind of generally been hating, not hating, but not enjoying these new ARPGs enough to continue playing them. Plenty of hours played on them. I even tried the free to play ones. Of course, I tried Torchlight. Because I liked Part 2 a lot. 3 is all right. It reminds me of Part 4, very copy pasty, but it's beautiful, fun little game. But yeah, I tried on December. I played them all, man. My favorite, again, I mentioned this in the Marvel Heroes videos. My favorite right now is Wilson. That's not something I play. I continue to play though. I think about it all the time. It's mostly because I'm just playing all kinds of games. But yeah, now that I think about it, I kind of want to go try Diablo 2 Remastered again. I think I'd grab that for like $10 when they had it a few years ago or so on sale. Okay. So am I done with my notes here? I forgot. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I mostly the main thing that I'm like, oh, I wonder how much this is gonna cost. I'm assuming $35. I don't know. I don't even remember. I don't know if they've announced the price for it. Maybe, but it's this is one of those ones that'll be 35 or 45 or whatever. Usually 35 is like the highest early access game that I've seen, like on average. Right. The next one is 15, and then after that is down to your smaller, much smaller titles and stuff. Anyways, I know I had a freaking point to that too. Oh yeah, I mean even with how weird and awkward the demo is, like I still want to see what this game is like starting from level 1. So I might still pick this up, when it comes out on early access, a few weeks. I don't know. Like I said, I can like I've played demos like this before, where they just not every demo is a really good one. They're cool that there's a demo available because it does get you. But yeah, if the demo is disappointing or has weird things go on, it can turn people off, right? So that's a tricky one too. It can be hard to make a good demo, right? Because you can easily like, I mean the full game may be amazing. It may be way better feeling than that. I remember actually somebody had posted on the forum asking like, why'd you do it this way? Basically, like, why aren't we starting at level 1 and starting at level 35 or whatever? And they actually replied saying that based on feedback from like closed beta, they thought it'd be a better idea to do that. So you know, it's understandable. I don't know. But yeah, so we'll see what happens, man. I didn't hate the demo, but it was um, just not very good. Mostly the balance issues, like, and I don't know if they even know like how bad the mage is to play after the prologue, like in that setup that they have for the demo. Like, it's terrible. It's bad. It's not fun. It's it's really bad, especially after playing the prologue. It's just, but I was trying to think of it. Even if I was a level 1 character, this would suck as the mage, specifically the mage. Had a lot of fun playing the warrior, and the knight was mostly just boring, and I just couldn't figure it out. Yeah, it was. There was a couple enemies I encountered on both the warrior and the knight that I actually just ran away and left behind because they were invincible. I had killed a couple of them. I think he killed like the enemies around him or whatever. But there was a couple enemies that I came across. I'm assuming in bug, maybe not. Maybe I just didn't figure out the mechanic. Maybe there was a missing enemy somewhere that I didn't see. That would break the shield, but they were just invincible, and I couldn't do any damage to them. So that was annoying. But you know, I looked around a bit. I wasn't like, but yeah, I just ended up just leaving them behind. I was like, eh. Anyways, yeah, I know. This was another weird one, man. Did a little bit too many ramblings, but I'm gonna take off. The demo is cool. I'm gonna try it. I think still. I'm definitely, you know, of course, gonna keep up on the news and see what kind of updates and discussions are happening in relation to this kind of stuff, because there'll probably be something. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.